If your business is only using traditional marketing, then you're missing out on an incredibly valuable opportunity to get more attention and generate more leads, customers, and sales. Which is why in this episode, I'm going to be breaking down exactly what guerrilla marketing is and how it works so you can use it to finally get the attention your business deserves. Hey there, my name is Erhart, marketing strategist, and welcome to The Marketing Show. Guerrilla marketing isn't new. And yet it's still, after all these years, one of the most misunderstood and underused marketing strategies available to today's modern marketer. It was kind of popularized back in the early 1980s, and it was offered up as an alternative to the more traditional and essentially more normal, or I guess conventional kind of marketing. Basically the kind of marketing that everybody would know and see and just think, yeah, that's marketing. But if it's been around this long and it works so good, which it does, then why don't more people know about it, and why aren't more people using it? I'll answer that in just a minute, but first, let me tell you a little bit more about guerrilla marketing, what it could mean for your business. The first thing to understand about guerrilla marketing is that it's kind of easier to do than to say, which makes describing it a little bit of a challenge. After all, you kind of know it when you see it. Or better yet, you don't know it when you see it. Which I appreciate makes absolutely no sense at all. But essentially, it's marketing that doesn't look or feel or even seem like marketing at all. Guerrilla marketing could be interesting packaging that makes you do a double take and really kind of appreciate and sort of get confused or excited or at least interested in what's even going on. It could be street art that you walk by and one day sort of catches your eye and that's on point and on trend, might even be an optical illusion or something really striking, really out there. It could be a social awareness campaign that finds a way to sort of embed itself into the common words and common verbiage and basically into the regular everyday social consciousness using a bit of an avant-garde or unconventional approach. And it can also come in pretty much any kind of media style, whether we're talking about text or image or video or signage or pretty much anything. But perhaps the best way to really understand what guerrilla marketing is to compare it against its counterpart, traditional marketing. So let's do that now. The first thing, and probably the most important element of guerrilla marketing of all of them, is that it really emphasizes the surprising or kind of catching someone off guard element. With guerrilla marketing, it's all about surprise and really hitting somebody when they're least expecting it. Not literally physically hitting them, but metaphorically hitting them, so it really catches them off guard and really gets their attention. You see, if you're able to have something that's really surprising, it really gets their attention, it's going to make your marketing that much more memorable and more shareable, and it's going to make a deeper emotional impact that they're likely to remember for a lot longer than if it was just some kind of bland or boring or everyday average piece of marketing. The big point here is that the more surprising, the better, because it's going to make that deeper emotional impact and be that much more effective. Compared with traditional media, you typically won't see any guerrilla marketing campaigns on TV or in the newspaper or even on the radio, unless they find a way to covertly kind of inject a message or a really unconventional way of getting it into those media. You see, when it comes to guerrilla marketing, it's all about doing things differently. It's about taking whatever someone's expecting you to do and then doing the complete opposite, or at least something very different. When it comes to guerrilla marketing, creativity is king. The other thing, compared to traditional media, which typically can cost a fortune, especially if we're talking about TV placements or magazine placements or things like that, is that guerrilla marketing can be incredibly inexpensive and very cost effective. The flip side, of course, is that rather than throwing money at the problem and just spending more, we're going to need to inject a lot more time and a lot more energy and a lot more creativity into it, which means that how scalable this really is a bit of a question mark. What I typically advise here is if you're overflowing with creativity and time and a little short on cash, guerrilla marketing is a fantastic way to steer. Unlike traditional marketing, and specifically advertising, whose main goal is to kind of get in front of you and interrupt you with whatever you're doing, guerrilla marketing is more of an inbound tactic, which sort of seeks to embed itself into your everyday life. Guerrilla marketing wants to be an invited guest rather than an unwanted intruder, and it does this by trying to be fun and interesting and engaging, and again, kind of surprising and kind of really catches you off guard. So like a wanted guest that's a surprise visit, I guess. But just because guerrilla marketing does tend to be inbound marketing, it doesn't mean that you still don't have to be strategic about it and try to place it to get in front of as many people of your ideal target market as possible. Also, while traditional marketing can be either B2B, meaning business to business marketing, where you're selling to another business, or B2C, which is business to consumer marketing, where you're selling directly to a consumer, well, while traditional marketing can kind of be either or, B2B or B2C, guerrilla marketing does tend to lend itself a little bit more to the B2C or business to consumer market. Now, doesn't mean that it won't work for B2B if you're trying to market yourself to other businesses, but you want to make sure that your ideal target market is a sufficient enough size to justify all of the creativity and all the energy you're going to need to put into the campaign. All right, so how does guerrilla marketing work? What makes it so effective, and why aren't more people using it? Well, guerrilla marketing is all about being clever and creative, and this is why most people don't end up using guerrilla marketing. Because it's really hard. You basically need to come up with all sorts of clever and creative ideas and find ways to get them in front of your target market. You need to try to stretch your dollar and make it go as far as possible so you get the biggest bang from your marketing buck. And essentially, you need to try to do what's never been done before, which is quite a challenge. But if you can get over those challenges and you're up for the task, it's a phenomenal tool to use. So here's a couple guidelines and some fundamentals to keep in mind when you're coming up with guerrilla marketing ideas. One of the biggest pieces of advice I can give you is to try to find a way to sort of inject or embed your guerrilla marketing into your prospects or your customers' everyday life, rather than what traditional marketing would do, which is just smack them across the face with all sorts of different buy now messages. You want to find a way to kind of embed it nice and subtly into their sort of everyday goings. Also, you have an opportunity here to be really personal and authentic and essentially inject some of your personality or your brand's personality or your business personality into the marketing that you're creating. After all, people don't necessarily like doing business with other businesses, but they like doing business with people. So the more that you can show kind of the people side or the funny side or the authentic side of your business, the better you're going to do. Most of all, however, is you want to create marketing that doesn't necessarily feel or look or sound like marketing. I know, that's a bit of a challenge, but that's what makes this so tricky and yet so effective. Alright, so why do I like guerrilla marketing, and why do I think it's such a phenomenal tool and such an underused and mistakenly underused tool for most marketers? Well, for starters, I love guerrilla marketing because it really rewards creativity and putting a little bit of extra effort behind your marketing. It's way too easy for different brands and different businesses to just throw any kind of garbagey marketing, throw a bunch of dollars behind it, show it to everybody, and then kind of do nothing for the business and just annoy a whole bunch of people, which I feel really gives marketing a bad name. So I like seeing businesses and brands rewarded for actually putting a little bit of effort into their craft. Also, by rewarding businesses, essentially through more leads, customers, and sales, for creating better and more clever and more creative types of marketing, well, it really levels the playing field, and it allows 6- and 7-figure businesses to compete right alongside with 8-, 9-, and 10-figure businesses. Guerrilla marketing is a powerful tool that you're definitely going to want to take a look at, which is why the next thing you're going to want to do is check out the video I have linked up right here on guerrilla marketing tactics, which is going to give you even more practical and actionable ideas to put into use. So make sure to check that out now. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time on The Marketing Show. Strategy can also be done for only a few bucks a day, so it's definitely cost effective. It's certainly worth trying.